Well, good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to discuss what I did today and is it worth it? I'm also, shoot, I missed. I'm also going to um, cut some doublers and we'll cut the fuselage leading edge and trailing edge and the spar slot. This is my motor crutch. Now this looks like it's on crooked, but it's not. It's parallel between this and this are parallel. This weighs 1.7 ounces. So let's go to this camera here. So you can see that there's no maple or very little maple left back here. And we have 1/8 inch cross grain balsa in between the or 1/4 inch cross grain balsa going this way between the motor mounts in those grooves that I had cut. Then there's an 1/8 inch cap. On the big airplanes, I use 3/16, but this is a smaller airplane and the plans are calling for 1/8 inch. So I used 1/8 inch. Then I ground away this. And if you'll notice here, I have these marked out. If I put this exactly where the plans are, because the length of the engine that I'm going to use is different than the Fox, the engine, the crutch sitting in the same spot, I have almost an inch of maple hanging off into the 3/4 of an inch hanging off into this area here. Now, anybody that's ever done any of these airplanes knows that you're going to sand into these motor mounts. So I'm going to cut these motor mounts off right there, and we should be able to save another 1/2 ounce. Well, 1/4 ounce. So this will be a mount that ends up 1.5 ounces. Normally, a crutch like this without the bulkheads and without this piece weighs 3 ounces. If you don't do all this business. If I built this crutch exactly the same on the outside without doing the routing of the motor mounts and all that, this would be 3 ounces. So so far we got 1.25 ounces out of the nose, and that doesn't sound like much, but it's huge. It's huge. If I get another 1/4 ounce out of it, I'll be real happy. So I need to make a decision whether I want to use 16th balsa, 16th plywood, or 1/8 inch plywood for the doublers. And I'm thinking that I'm going to use 1/8 inch. Now I could use, if I went over there and looked, I could use a piece of hard 3/32. Let's see, is this 1/8 or this metric? I think. Oh, this is 1/8. Okay. So these will be my doublers. And the reason why I like to do the nose construction this way is you don't have to sand through plywood in the taper. So now, if you remember what I did the hokey pokey yesterday, figuring all this out. This is why it's so important to do the thinking before you start the cutting. Because now The exhaust stack could be raised a little higher, and I'll probably do that. I mean, I have to do it. So might as well do that now. We're going to take, I guess I can lay it here on the bench. Yeah. I got to do this now because I'm cutting the doublers and they need to match the fuselage. So I might as well make it right. We'll cut that much off. Uh-oh. Yeah, there it is. But you got, I mean, I've been thinking about everything, how to make this modern and still keep the same look and dimensions. What the heck happened to the knife? Ah, darn. Yeah, it's right here. And I can't even see these numbers anymore. Yeah, I had it cut crooked to begin with, so that's good. There it is. Now let's see if that works. Yep. So that'll let the muffler come out. So the square opening in the cowl goes from that point to that point. So it's just like that, so that you don't have any extra parts going on and off. And of course, the hole right here, I mean, I've got it kind of forced. I'll run a grinder in it and make it round so that you don't have to take the needle valve out when you take the motor out. Now, I'm doing this cowl a little different. Normally, I put the tank in through the bottom of my airplanes, but this airplane is calling for the tank to go in through the front. So it's going to slide in that way. The cowl's only going to be that long. It's not going to go all the way back here. So I have about 1/4 of an inch that I can adjust the tank. And if you can't get it within 1/4 inch, this tank's too long, but because I only use 5 ounces, that's 6.5. So that looks good. Now, the problem is when I'm doing them this way is that the leading edge of the wing will be cut out right here. It's somewhere in the tank box. It's right here in the tank box. That's where the leading edge goes through. Well, you can't have it go through the tank box because the tank is there. So what do? No big deal. We need to lay the leading edge out first. Cut the leading edge in this, then make the doubler. Then make the doubler. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to switch the camera here and we'll go to that side. You like this channel. I think you say that every time you come on. You like the channel. Well, I'm glad. Okay, let's transfer this measurements. I mean, if I would have made this piped, I mean, I probably could have made it work. And this is just the mandrel. This is not the pipe, but I could have made this little pipe work. Except it have this extra shit hanging around. We'll just do it this way. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I think I got it marked already. I think I got it marked. Let me find my pencil. Let's sharpen it. As you guys can tell, I haven't been working on this too much offline. Been doing other things. I'm trying to get the damn website going. I think that's the line right there, the center line right there. Yep. Okay, we won't worry about that. We're gonna get this motor crutch built. Okay. We will get the motor crutch built. That's the line. That is the line. So I'm going to make my leading edge. This is calling for 1/4 by half. We ain't doing that. We're going to go 3/8 by half. Let's see. 3/8 by half. 3/8 by 9/16. So I got to do some calculating. Hey, Craig. Good morning. Yeah, about nighttime here. Okay. So we got 9/16. Hmm. 9/32. What the hell is that? Nine 30 seconds. 281 thousandths. 281 thousandths. That don't sound right. Don't sound right. But we'll give her a whirl. See what it says. So this should be 3/8 here. And it is. And this should be 9/16. And it is. Let's make it 5/8. Let's make it 5/8. So we need a piece 3/8 by 5/8. 3/8 by 5/8 LE. What that does, it gives you a little more sanding room so you can get a nicer leading edge. If you do it with this little piece of stick wood, it won't have no wood left by the time you're done sanding. I mean, it looks good on paper, but it don't work that way. So we got 5/8 clear, 5/8, 5/16. 31.25. $31.25. And I just had that ruler in my hand. There it is. Yep, 31.25. Five sixteenths. Quarter. Yeah, I've got to have all this marked out and cut before I make doublers. Okay, that's half by half back there. That's half, so we got quarter, quarter inch, and a quarter. Let's see, quarter and a quarter, quarter and a quarter. This stuff right here is so important. Your airplane, I mean, this is part of the wing. This is not just the fuselage, this is part of the wing. So you gotta make sure it's right. You gotta have it thought out in your head as how you're gonna do this. Let's see. We need, this is right where, this is where the end of the motor mount goes. So we look at the motor mount, make sure that it's in the right spot. Yep. Like I say, we're going to cut 3/4 of an inch off of them barriers, so that'll get lightened up. Okay, so what do we got to do for that? So that is the correct hole position. I think my dinner's here. Let me see. I think she ordered something, pizza. There's somebody at the door? Okay, guys, I'll be right back. I got to go outside and look, see what's going on. Let's see how far this transmitter transmits. Are they fighting? Nope, he's knocked out in the front yard, laying in Kenny's front yard. I think it might be Kenny. You can if you want. Yeah, a guy just got knocked out in the front yard. Did you guys hear me all the way to my front yard? I didn't know what the hell that was, but they were fighting in the front yard, and he's knocked out, laying on his back. Okay, let's cut us some parts. Yeah, my neck of the woods is not the best. You got to be pretty rough and tumble to live here. I probably should be cutting these together. Yep, I hear him winding up again. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. That's not good. There we go. Now, in order to get these holes drilled right, or cut right, we're going to drill some holes so that it's perfect. Hopefully there's enough battery. This house next to me has been a problem for 30 years. We finally got rid of them. I figure, well, they're gone, but shit, they're still hanging around. Let's see what it says here. Check the hole for the exit. If the axle is on the center main spot for the downline. If the axle is on the center of the main, which it's not, the exit space for the downline is smaller than that for the upline. Yeah, it's not on the main spar. It's behind the spar. Goes right in the center like that, on a plywood floor between the fuselage sides. Doesn't even go through the center of the spar. I've done it like this hundreds of times. I could move the spar back, I guess, but then it would be a different size. I think I'll just leave it as is. We'll leave it as is. Let's see, I had a little stick. There it is. Yeah, let's get a little file to do the ends. But the other one should do this. I guess I could yeah, we'll just go ahead and cut it. It'll be fine. I don't know why I'm trying double thinking my normal way of doing stuff. You guys need to stop that. I'm not going to cut the spar notch yet, though. I'll do that when I get the doubler in. Because I might move it back, possibly. Yep, I think Kenny got his ass kicked. Again. We'll get a dowel, some sandpaper on it, and clean them up real good. But at least now I can cut my doublers. How far do they have the doublers going back on this? Past the spar. So they're going way back to here. Doublers go back to right here. Okay. Cut this one first. We'll cut this one first. Yeah, I thought you ordered dinner and there was a pizza guy here. Shows what I know. Okay. I think we're going to cut that one to there. That's more better. Come on now. So this microphone worked all the way to the street, huh? Down a flight of stairs and out to the street. Let me know. Did you guys hear me go outside? Okay, this is the doubler. That's it. There's no hole cut for the leading edge. It just goes like so. The leading edge just plugs into this and epoxies right there into that pocket. So we need to make a second one of those. That's a hard spot right there. I mean, I could use it, but I think we'll use the lightest stuff. Now let's see, we want to do it this way. Yep. Got to make a right and a left. I mean, it wouldn't really matter, but I hear more bumping and banging going on out there. I got to go outside. Okay, hold on. I don't hear my alarm going off, so that's a good thing. I don't know. I hear something going on out there. I'll take a look out there, see what's going on. Still laying in the front yard? Was it Kenny?
I don't know who it was. They were gone when I opened the door. Hello? Somebody's pounding on the door next door where Kenny used to live. I called the police and then there was nobody out there when I called. I called back and canceled it.
Well, call them and tell them they're beating on the door.
I'm not gonna do
Unbelievable. The joys of the loo. About 10 minutes. I guess I'm going to have to put my shoes on. No, well, I don't know. Just call the cops. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, it's a little large. It's like maybe a 30-second sticking over here. That's no big deal. When I put it together, I can take a block and sand it. Well, we made it an hour anyway. Of course, this all gets built upside down. You don't want to do this freehand. You want to get her in the jig on the board. That's all there is to it. Ain't nothing, ain't no big deal. Even if you got to think things through. So like I say, this is not it. The leading edge will go in here like so. And the trailing edge, the trailing edge does connect in the center. Did I cut trailing edges? No. So the trailing edge does connect in the center, and I put a little joiner in there. But the leading edge does not. It just glues right into the side there, and that way you can get your tank back into the wing. I need to knock off those the edges off of this thing. Let's try this one. Nope, that ain't it. Try a finished tank. It still needs to be knocked off a little too. Too big. Too big. She'll go in there when I sand all the flash off. I leave the flash on these tanks because it's a little stronger, but you know, I'll grind that, put it on the belt sander, grind that down and grind those ends down. It'll slide in and out a lot easier. All right, that's the Aries for the evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's see what we got for chat here. No, balsa wood on the doublers. Balsa wood doublers, just like I build my Vipers. Balsa wood doublers. Got to keep everything as light as possible. I hope to hit 40 ounces for this. I can't read that far over there. Yep, all balsa. Sandwich, carbon fiber sandwich between it. And what really gives it the strength is not the carbon fiber, it's the glue. So 0.5, half ounce or whatever per yard carbon gets glued between these, epoxied. All this gets locked together. And of course, it gets fiberglassed on the outside. I mean, it's a pretty stout setup. Goes right there. I might have to sand that doubler a little bit in the center there. At least I see where it needs to go. A little sand. I'll mark it out and sand a little clearance in there. Yeah, we're almost done with an airplane. You guys don't think so, but trust me, once I mill the leading and trailing edges and I build the wing templates and I glue this to the bench, it's like 2 hours away from finish. So before you cut it off the bench, it ain't nothing to build. We are going to definitely sand a groove right here in the doubler after I get the carbon in it. Actually, I could do it before. I could make a nice routed hole out of there just so I get some clearance for this tank. I mean, it's so close. Got to make it easy on myself. I don't know. I'll think about it. I think I'll probably do it. That'll lighten the nose up a little more. You don't need all that lumber in these airplanes, I'm telling you. It's just unnecessary. Especially an I-beam, because it's a monocoque construction. One piece relies on the next piece glued to the next. And if it ain't glued to something, you don't need it. Trust me. Alrighty, like, subscribe, and share. 8 away from 5,000. So if you're a new person watching this channel, please hit the subscribe button and help me get to 5,000. If I ever hit 1,000,000, I would be ecstatic, but damn well that ain't gonna happen. But I'm pretty humbled by 5,000 guys even watching what I'm doing, but I'd sure like to make 5,000. I've hit the big time then. So, like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See you. When second